right, good afternoon, good morning, good night, wherever you're at. Welcome to the BitLab Academy daily live stream. Thank you for tuning in here. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding that bell. Easiest way you can support here on the BitLab Academy stream. Really do appreciate it. We're building a wonderful community here. Just so you guys know, when there's some small tech issues here on my end, I have to set up and reset up the live stream stuff and then break it down for the basically the BitLab Academy recording content. We have two different setups, so sometimes there's a little bit of an error there. So thank you all for being here with me. Big shout out to everybody. Had to do the restart, but here we are. Again, my name is Kelly Kellum. You can find me on my Twitters and socials right there at Kelly Kellum there on the screen. That's Kellam, not UM. Make sure you're following the right one. I do want to shout out before we get going. I had a bit of a heart attack last night financially. I was the victim of an just a stupid, golly, attempt by some scammers to steal about $30K from me from alts that I had on Coinbase. It looks like it likely will be taken care of, hopefully, because I do have that Coinbase One membership. So we're tracking down. I've already got a bunch of the IP information as well as other necessary information because I'm going to go after these phishing scammers to the max. But I just wanted to shout out to everybody, no matter who you are, no matter how tech savvy you are. I want to make sure that you all protect yourself, protect your assets, protect your capital, no matter what call you get or what email you get. If it is a legitimate thing, what my number one recommendation would be is if you do get a call and you're in any way sort of questioning the truthfulness of it all, there's no harm, no foul for you to hang up on them immediately and go to whatever service provider you're using, whether it be Coinbase, Binance, your traditional bank, whatever it is, because this can happen with any sort of financial institution. This is not unique to crypto. This is just unique to bad actors and, dare I say it, jackasses in this world. So screw those people that want to come in here and mess with people's money. That's not cool. But now that I got that off my chest, yeah, hang up on those people if you ever get a call from support, because essentially what happens is, and I'm going to be doing a whole video on this, they actually hack into your email account and then basically win some trust over you by emails that you're actually getting from the institution or the financial place, whether it be Coinbase or Wells Fargo, whatever it is. And because they're hacked into your email, they can see, they basically confirming numbers and so on and so forth. So hang up on any sort of calls that you get, and then just go to that institution, the real website, and call the support line direct from that website, and just confirm that whatever issue they're saying there is, just to make sure that you are protecting your capital, because $30K is not something anybody wants to lose. Okay, hopefully I'll get it back. We don't know yet, so shout out to everybody. Again, I'm gonna be breaking this all down. It wasn't like somebody asked for my seed phrase or anything like that. This was a very sophisticated phishing hacking attempt. So big shout out to that. And if we will, please hit that like button for me today. Hit that subscribe, ding that bell. Oh, it's been a rough night and a rough morning, but we're working through it. We got to remember, this world is more than money. It's about family, friends, the community, all of you here. That's what we're here about. And so I'm not just going to share my wins. I'm going to share my losses with you too. And, I feel like a dum-dum right now, but I'm an open book, and you will always know what's going on in my life, and I'll be sharing the real story. So you have that from me. So let's go ahead and how's everybody else doing? How are you feeling? Has anybody in the chat let me know? Have you have had a phishing attempt or a hack on any of your accounts? Whether it be whether it be like an identity hack or crypto or traditional banking, let me know and let everybody else know here. This is not just a unique thing. This does happen to the best of us and the worst of us. So big love to everybody. If anybody has suffered any losses, especially last year, let's shout out to everybody last year. There were so many hacks that happened last year. Not only hacks, but I consider the FTX thing a hack, because those people are hacks. All this cascading liquidations and a lot of money lost. So shout out to anybody that lost money. But what do we do? What do we do when that happens? We take it in. We take a deep breath. We exhale it out, and we let it go. You accept, and you let the chips fall where they may. You do what you need to do, and you move on. You continue building. You continue rebuilding because it never stops. That's what we do here, BitLab Academy. We're going to help you through it. Hopefully, I'm going to help myself through it, but we're going to make it through. So shout out from everybody. Shout out for everybody that had any of those issues. So if you have not hit that like button, ding that bell, hit that subscribe, definitely do it. And make sure that you follow, you check out the website down there with the arrow below and follow all those correct socials, because that's where a lot of these scams happen, is impersonating somebody on the Twitter, Instagram, all these things. They impersonate a big, like, I think I have like 70 fake accounts out there that people are acting like me, and they copy my post verbatim. There's a word I can speak. If you can't tell, I'm a little distracted this morning with everything that's going on, but just make sure you're following the right stuff. But let's go ahead and jump into it today. We're going to jump here. Make sure you are following. Let me pull up the correct screen here. Make sure you are following the correct. If you're not following at BitLab Academy right here, you can also see youtube.com/@BitLab Academy. Check this out. A lot of the stuff in the playlist here early on, the first 10 or so, 10 or 15 videos. These are great resources for anybody newer in the space. You can really break down how to chart properly on TradingView. Some really good quick tips. Understanding how to, different tools you can utilize as a trader. Different secrets to making profits and strategies. Check out these videos if you haven't yet. And then, of course, make sure you're following at Academy BitLab for our Twitter. And then my correct Twitter is @KellyKellum. So definitely give these all a follow. And then, of course, make sure you check out bitlabacademy.com. We've got all the incredible lessons and courses that we have been working on and will continue to work on through the rest of this year. There's going to be regular updates coming basically every few weeks. We have over 25 new courses, over 200 new lessons we've been doing, all here in the beautiful BitLab Academy studio, as you can see right here. And if you want, I can even give you a wider view to show you exactly what's going on here. We've got quite a studio set up here, and some really great instructors, including myself, Frankie Candles, Ben Armstrong, TJ, AJ Writes Crypto. I'm even having guest experts that will be in here as well for the members. But so without any further ado, we've talked about enough. Let's talk about what everybody wants to talk about. What the heck is going on in the market? We got some stuff going on the charts. We got a golden cross, which has resulted in over 350% pumps in the past, and also has resulted in being a bull trap. So let's go ahead and look at this. All right. Last shout out here is make sure you sign up for this newsletter right here. You get entered to win a free month of courses and the indicators. We just did a five-person giveaway for lifetime membership. We're going to be doing different winners and different prizes each month. So sign up for this. You'll basically be entered to win on all of those future contests that we have. And you also get the newsletter. So check that out. Now, what's going on in the charts? I'm going to go ahead and delete that because the crypto portfolio makes me sad right now that $30,000 was stolen from me. But you know what? Here in BitLab Academy, what we do is we teach you the skills to understand how to navigate the market. So while that 30K might have been taken out of my account, maybe I'll get it back, maybe I won't, but it doesn't matter because I understand how this market works. I understand how to engage with trends. I understand how to engage with bottom accumulation zones and top distribution zones and play the market in both directions. So I have no question whatsoever that I will earn that money back tenfold. So, and last thing I'll say is screw you to whoever thought that they could take my money. That's just not cool, man. So let's go ahead and move on here. So what we're talking about today is this golden cross that everybody's talking about. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to the 4MA, which is an indicator I like to use. It's free. You just type in 4MA here in the search function, and it gives you 4 standard moving averages, not exponential moving averages, but moving averages. Now, what is the difference? First thing I want to just say here, I want to throw it back to the beginners because this show is all about bridging that gap from beginner to pro. Moving SMAs are just moving averages versus EMAs. Very similar. However, what SMAs are, simple moving averages, is it basically whatever period it is, say it's a 200 SMA or a 20 SMA, it's averaging the price over that period of time on the chart. So if you're looking at the one-day chart, a 200 SMA is 200-day average price moving average. An EMA is an exponential moving average, whereas it weighs more heavily the more current price action. So the moving average actually is a little bit more responsive than a simple moving average. A lot of people like to use both. You can use one or the other. In this case, I'm looking at the 4MA, the moving averages, the actual simple moving averages. And what we're looking at here is every time, and I'm going to basically unmute all my drawings here. These vertical lines that I have here is the last several times that this 50 moving average, this yellow, has crossed. I believe this is a 50. Let me make sure before. Yeah, it's a 50. Okay, good. Just making sure. The 50 has crossed the 200. And each time, I just want you to look here. I'm going to go ahead and take a measurement tool, and we're going to go from this price right here where that crossed. We're going to go all the way up to the top. That's a 5,000% gain. We can even draw this down to where it crossed back. Still a 2,000% gain. Similarly, if we move this over, I'm just going to leave that there actually. Similarly, if we move this over, this right here, this price was about right there. This was up 156% right here. And this was a short-lived one. This was an interim sort of impulse bull market wave that this was a bull market wave that preceded the Bitcoin halving. Essentially, one of the things I've laid out here on this stream is something that I'm looking forward to in this cycle is a sort of impulse somewhere up into basically this level here, about 42,000-ish range, and then back down and then up for the finality of the actual next all-time high is probably sometime in 2024 into 2025. But we will get a strong impulse wave up, I believe. In this, and this is similar to what we're seeing right here. So we're seeing this cross right here. This went up 156%. Now we had the Black Swan event that did take place during March of 2020, which was the global ridiculous contested flu that nobody really knows what the truth is with all that right now, but that's a whole nother story. Of course, it was very terrible. I live in New York, so it was very real in New York. I can tell you that. The whole world shut down while I was there. But we see right here, this pushing up to the top here. That was a 740%. We don't need to do every one of these, but what we can see is when we see this 50 moving average on the daily, as we can see right here, we're on the daily. This has resulted in some very large pushes. Whereas we've also seen right here this cross and then we immediate dump off. So this technically speaking is a bull trap, but we also know that this was followed immediately by the pandemic, which can't be. We kind of have to discount this because this wasn't just technicals in the chart. This was also like global world economic shutdown. So we can see that this could have a massive effect here. So I'm gonna go ahead and we can see where we're at right now. We see this yellow line, this 50 moving average. When we're below it, typically very bearish, and once we get above it, we can see this has resulted in, it was pretty much support on the way up, bouncing up, holding that line of bullish action to the upside. Now I'm going to delete some of those. There we go. Now coming where we're at right now, I'm going to go ahead and come down to the 4-hour. Actually, I'm going to come back to the daily, and we're going to zoom in over here, and we can see. Look at this. It's 50 crossed with authority. It's not just crossed and kind of rolling over. This is crossed and is still heading to the upside. Now we have a bit of volume. On average that has come in more over here, but we haven't seen a lot of volume, and I'll tell you why. I believe, and this is what I've talked about over the last week, is because everybody's hesitating because we haven't got the bullish confirmation of this resistance line flipping to support. So what we're looking at right here is we're looking at the daily golden cross. So what did we forget to do on this chart? What did we forget to do? Well, what I've talked about on every stream since I've started streaming here is if we go in here and we look at this market cycle, market cycle trading cheat sheet, we have not proven this move. Now, in addition to that, what else have I said? I have talked about over and over and over how we need to do the 3-cycle strategy. We need to look every time we pull up a chart, we need to look at the macro, the midterm, and the micro, the large time frame, the medium time frame, and the very small time frame. So weekly, monthly, weekly, 3-day, daily, 12-hour, and that's midterm, and then down 4-hour and below is the very short time frames. So looking at this, we started on the daily. So while we have a golden cross here, I want us to actually do what we were supposed to do first and zoom out and look at this. Now, we've looked at this a lot of times, looking at this macro, but what we haven't looked at it through this lens. And this is why it's important. As much as you've looked at a chart, it's always worth revisiting and using different indicators or different data points to look at it. We've been looking at this in terms of this descending wedge that we have here, this falling wedge. But establishing this massive downtrend. But now what we're looking at here is we're looking at how the interaction between these moving averages, which are the same ones. This is a 50, this is a 200, yellow and red. But this is on the weekly. So now we're looking at the macro. So while we saw the golden cross on the daily, let's kind of see what's going on here. On the weekly, we're getting a death cross. So we're getting a death cross and a golden cross on 2 different cycles, 2 different time periods that we're looking at. And this is why it is important. It is so important to look at what's going on the charts on multiple time frames, because you can get grander context. You might be looking at that 4-hour, or you might be looking at a daily chart ready to go in on a huge trade to the upside or downside. But if you take a break, take a pause, take a deep breath, and then zoom out and look on the weekly, you might see that you're actually pushing right up, while the shorter time frames, 4-hour, 6-hour, where you're pulling your trigger for that daily move. If you zoom out, you actually might notice, like right now, we're pushing up not only to this golden pocket from this move here. We can see right here, this golden pocket. I'm going to zoom in over on this. I'm going to make this a little bigger. We zoom in on that. We got a golden pocket right here. This is actually a high we need to break to really establish a new higher high right here, which we're faltering at. We're pulling back. We're finding a little bit of support, but we're also finding not only the confluence of this golden pocket, but we can also see that this is finding resistance just below the 200-week moving average, as well as well below the 50-week moving average, which is this yellow line. So this all fits into the context of what I was talking about yesterday and the day before about where the need for the bulls to come in and show their authority, which is not going to happen at this stage right here, most likely, because we're seeing momentum shift and go neutral, because we have expanding momentum increasing to the upside very quickly. This candle's not as tall, so that indicates to me that this is saying that the momentum is starting to be reduced. So that means the bull's authority is starting to diminish. The bull's authority diminishes more. Now we have an opportunity for the bears to come in, and the bears now are trying to attempt to take authority here. Now, because we haven't broken through this and we have massive resistance directly above where we're at, what incentive right now is there for the bulls to really take over? When we have a golden pocket right above us, we have the 200-week moving average, we have the 50-week moving average forming a death cross, we have momentum rolling over. This is signaling to me exactly what the bulls need for us to get the pump is to have that short term, that midterm, even daily sort of probably. Let's see if this was, we could see 1, 2, 3 weeks, because this is 3 candles. We're on the weekly, so each candle's a week. 1, 2, 3 weeks to the upside and rolling over. Let's come down to the daily. We can see how long this move was. We can press shift, click on the chart, and come over to the peak here. That was about 20 days. So I'm not thinking that we're going to get a 20-day continuation, a 20-day pullback. But in order for this to resolve, in order for the bulls to be reset, we have to take note of this massive resistance that's above us. We have to take note that the bulls look like they're taking a breath. If they're taking a breath, it allows the bears to sort of do what they can. And we want the bears to do if we want to pump, we want the bears to make their attempt to the downside. So it gives us an opportunity and clarity is if the bulls are going to come in here. And so if this were to take place, then it looks like we have this sort of arch arch like this. So if we continue that arch down, it looks like somewhere roughly about February 13th, all the way. I mean, I would think that, you know, this resolution could come down somewhere between the middle of next week, and the end of next week. We'll likely get some sort of clarity as to where this price action is going. And I want this pullback so we can get a healthy pump. In addition to that, even though I want the pullback, this doesn't mean the second this touches this line, I'm going all in. The second this comes down and touches a line, I am going to come in on the daily, the 4 hour, the 1 hour, and I'm going to look at a variety of different signals and indications on this chart, data points, so I can see at this level, are we seeing those signals reset, the RSI, the stochastics, the BitLab trading suite that combines all these things for you, divergences. We're trying to see if this price is falling, is there actually strength coming into the market, or is it continuing to get weaker? If this is still showing weakness at this level, then I'm not going to put in my entry, because I'm not just going to buy at this support, because this has not been confirmed as support yet. I'm going to let this roll over to this level, and as it's approaching it, I'm going to look for these signs and signals that the opportunity is presenting itself. Okay, so what does that look like? Well, if we come here, and we're going to go to turn on the BitLab trading suite here, and we can see right here there is some attempt. Because, I mean, look at this. This is on the daily. Look at this signal right here. We have a bearish divergence on the volume, and this is directly right where the price broke down. What a signal that was, especially because this volume, we have a divergence is leading into this on balance volume, and let me go ahead and click on this. On balance volume, and I think that is, I forget what the B is. I always have it shorthand. Yeah. So on balance volume and the hidden volume, that's what these two are. So there's divergences going into this, and this was showing no strength. So this sort of, the way I read this is this sort of continues on, and then this is strengthened further with having bearish divergence on the top side of the volume here, which was on the candle, one candle before this breakdown. And then we see here on the relative extrema, way outside of the cloud. So now we have divergences, weakness, double top. These are three signals already right there that are showing that this was primed to roll over. So now while we're trying to have a little bit of an attempt right here, I'm not reading this as super bullish, because we're only getting it on one signal, just a relative extrema. We're not seeing any sort of blue floor here on the significant movement. So as this rolls over, I'm looking for this to pull back and starting to get, excuse me, some of these bullish divergences on the bottom forming once the candles roll over and they're in this zone. Now I want you to notice also we have this EMA ribbon, these red lines right here, and over here they're purple. These are the EMA ribbon. So even coming down all the way to this level, or breaking even down a little bit further down to the 20,200 level, 20,150, it's still all within the EMA ribbon. So this would be healthy pullback on all accords, because you'd still be on top of the EMA ribbon. You'd be, let's see what this move is. Option F. Option F gives you a fib, and look at that. If this were to pull back here, the golden pocket is right at that 19.9, which we 19.1 actually, all the way up to 19.5. I'm looking in this region right here as a more likely entry when this pulls back, because the markets are pushing. They're pushing the market makers are pushing the price action beyond where people are hoping for, so they can get people to go long here, and then they can liquidate them and eat up that liquidity, and then get lower price action. The institutions bring the boat back. When they've missed it, they bring the boat back, and this is what bringing the boat back is. It's bringing the price down to a lower level to get the best price option. And what they do as this happens is they liquidate those longs coming to the downside, and people sell, they start panic selling, and then people start going short. Now they have a lot of liquidity to eat up, because now they can rocket it. They can rocket the price coming down like this. They can rocket the price back up, and they ate all this liquidity and got a lower price. And they basically did a bull trap to the upside. and now they do a bear trap to the downside and then reverse to the direction that they actually wanted to go. So this pullback is going to serve a lot of functions for people that are navigating the market smartly. So I want you to just notice this macro trend line that we have falling that has been resistance for most of this time. And if we zoom in just on the chart here, click right here, double click on the chart, minimizes the other indicators. And if we come back out to the 3-day, we see this macro resistance, and we are fighting above it with losing momentum. In addition to all of this, we can also see that we have a broadening wedge right here as well. So we are pushing the upside, but we're having a broadening wedge, which is inherently a bearish structure as, when it's headed to the upside. Just quick note for everybody, when you're doing TA, any structures that point to the downside are inherently bullish. Any structures that point to the upside are inherently bearish, because you're basically getting momentum to the upside, but then the bears are taking over on equal accord, getting momentum to the upside, and bears are taking over with more strength. So because each push up, you have a stronger fall to the downside, then you get a bigger push up and then a stronger fall to the downside. So same thing with this this structure here. Look at this giant descending wedge, falling wedge here, pointing to the downside. Now this takes a hell of a long time to play out, but it's going to play out, resulting in an upside breakout. Now, it's already done that. This is not quite a fully confirmed breakout yet. Why is this? Because we have to remember, a breakout is breaking out, pulling back, if you're breaking out with a bullish momentum, letting some people take profits, letting the conservative people say, okay, I'm back at break even, and then the bears take over for a small bit, and the bulls come in with authority and say, no, we're going to the upside. This is how you define a trend. You have the push up, you have the pullback, you establish a trend line here, and then when the next push up, once you have people taking profits and the price starts pulling back, now you have a target for your next entry. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for in this. If we zoom back into, let's come down to the 12-hour, what we're looking for in this is that rollover. Now look at this on the 12-hour. Look at, I'm going to double click so we can get the other indicators as well. We are showing some strength on the 12-hour, and I'm going to delete this. This is the line where the golden cross was on the daily. We have relative extrema divergence. Bullish because it's on the bottom. This flag, all the flags on the bottom are bullish, all the flags on the top are bearish. We have momentum, bullish divergence, on balance volume, and hidden volume as well. 4 bullish divergences giving pressure here, and we have this to the downside, which again, remember the extrema, when it's to the downside, it's like a slingshot to fire to the upside. It's like a mortar, if you will. And so what we can see here, there is an attempt from the bulls here, but we had this blue flash, which was a local bottom, and then immediately after that, we have a red flash. So there's a lot of questionability in this range because people, smart traders, conservative traders, tried and true smart money traders, know they're looking for the pullback. Now look at this. We pushed into this EMA ribbon, this EMA cloud, and now we're fighting to even get back above it. So this is a bit questionable, especially when we look at the daily. There's no divergences, although we do have extrema. Let's come down to the 4-hour and look at what we're looking at. Now we're getting a lot of attempts here because now we see a bullish RSI divergence, and we also see bullish volume divergence right here. Did you see that just print? Now we're having bearish. There's a lot. This is just choppy as hell. There's a lot of retail out there right now that all they want to do is have the price go up, but the retail very infrequently will dominate over institutional and big money whale traders. Okay, so there is pressure coming in here with positive sentiment because the market was so bloody and so frustrating over all of 2022. But look at this: bullish divergence, bullish bearish, bullish bearish, bullish bearish. There's a lot of questionability here. So this is why when you're looking at these markets, when you're looking at charts, you want to find confluence on multiple things. So I'm still thinking I'm going to come down to the 1-hour here. And now see here on the 1-hour, you get better resolution. We saw on the 4-hour and on the 12-hour that on the larger time frame, it looked like there was trying to be an attempt, but now we're getting a bearish RSI divergence, a bearish volume divergence. The extremists to the upside. This is on the 4-hour, but if we come down to the 1-hour, look at that bearish volume, bearish volume, bearish volume, and then look at this extrema cloud. This is sticking way outside of the cloud. So this is telling me that the bears are sort of stealing any of the momentum from the bears are stealing from the bulls. In addition to that, we can see this has fallen through the EMA ribbon and is now established that it's finding resistance in the ribbon. Resistance. So with Bitcoin today, I would mark caution. I think there is a possibility that we get a push up, but I think it's more likely that we're going to move to the downside to start that full correction, that confirmation of the bullish move. So this is what I'm seeing on Bitcoin. I'm going to check in with chat real quick. How is everybody doing? If this is your first time, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding that bell. My name's Kelly Kellum. We do this every day here on BitLab Academy, daily live stream, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Throw in the chat where you're from. Let me know what the last thing you DCA'd in. Let me know. Everybody post in a couple coins. I'm going to try and move through because that huge hack, people stealing $30,000 from me. I didn't do a full preparation and everything today. So what we can use today for is we can go through a lot more TA on other coins. We're going to break them. So throw in the coins that you're looking at, whether you've already bought them or you're interested in them. We can do some TA on a bunch of coins. We're going to jump right back into the charts here. So let me know what they are. I'm going to try and move these. I'm going to try and do some 2-minute technicals. Let's do some ADA real quick. All right, let's get a cleaner chart. Okay, there we go. So let's go ahead and zoom out. I'm going to hide this real quick. Chi-Town, shout out Chi-Town. And shout out to everybody, all my regulars here in chat, Alex Green, Mellow Fellow, Matt C, Alexander G, Crypto Chef. We got so many people in here. Mellow Fellow, I mean, there's so many names. Justin Eubanks, I've seen so many regular names here. We've built quite a community here in a short period of time. So we're going to zoom out on this. We're going to start with the 3-day. Look at these. I got some interesting lines here, support, resistance. So let's go ahead and zoom in on this and see where a likely move is going to be. So I'm going to do option, just so everybody knows, when I do TA, I like to do very quick keys, and I'll shout them out to you. If you haven't yet, come over here to BitLab Academy, YouTube, come down to live, come over to playlist, go to view full playlist, and go and watch this pro trading view guide, because I go through a whole thing about how to do quick keys, so you don't have to come and use this toolbar, and I'm going to use them as we're doing TA now. So in order to do the fib on this, I'm going to do it from this high right here on this move, because this was a high, this was a low. We're going to see where we're finding resistance here, and that's Option F on Mac or Alt F on PC, and then you click on the chart. You can drag down, and okay, we've got a bit of a move still to the upside. We're found support a little bit right here at the 382. But we quite a ways away from the golden pocket, which is here at the 46 cents. Now I'm going to do one more fib from this level right here, because it looks like we're probably at the 786 of this, and that's exact. We're a little. All right, I'm going to double click on the screen to minimize this thing. Okay, yeah, so we're found resistance. Now we're in this sort of bullish pocket between the 786 and the golden pocket right here. But we are losing momentum. As you see the candles increasing to the upside, when you see candles getting bigger, that's increasing momentum. Okay, and this is also obvious. If I were to come over here and go back to the MACD, RSI, stochastics, you'll notice right here as these candles are expanding on the MACD, which stands for what? Moving average convergence divergence. So what you're doing is you're seeing an expansion of momentum or a reduction of momentum. So you see as these candles are getting bigger, they're also moving away from certain moving averages. I believe it's 1226. So the 12 moving average and the 26 moving average. So the price action is moving away from that 12, and we can see the 12 moving average is expanding from the slower moving average of 26. So this is getting wider, and that's also relevant. By seeing it without even looking at the MACD, you would know that you had a bullish cross here on this time frame, because you can see that the candles expanding, they're increasingly expanding. But now we're seeing a little bit. We see this large move here. Now if I press shift and click on the chart. Let me double click here. If I press shift and click on the chart, that gives you a measuring stick tool. So I'm going to do shift, and I'm going to come up to here. This was a 34% move, but then we see from here, this is only a 9% move. And then from here, we can see, I'm going to do it from the breakout. we're having sort of mixed signals. We have expansion in momentum, reduction in momentum, expansion in momentum, but we're seeing this very. I mean, we have a hanging man here. We have inverted. It's kind of a shooting star, kind of an inverted hammer, because it's not clear if it's at the top or bottom of a trend. But this is more of a shooting star because this is rolling over from the top. We have this attempt to the upside, and immediate, almost sort of a bearish harami candle pattern where this is swallowing this bearish candle. It's getting rejected, the 786, and we have a lot of volume in through here on the VPVR. Now this is on the 3-day, so let's go ahead and take this down to, let's take it down to the 12-hour, and we can see now that we found support on this. I believe this is I have different ones on different time frames. So the red on this one is, I'm going to make this the same, so because my other one is opposite of this. I was like, there's no way that moved faster. There's no way that moved faster than the 200. All right, so dang it. Purple. There we go. So we have the 50 right here. It's found support. It's finding support, but now it's kind of falling through support twice, falling through support. Now we're looking to see if there's going to be a rejection, but we have a bit of a shelf right here with the volume. But I am looking for a pullback on this as well, because what we're seeing here is we're starting to see, it's not fully formed, but we're starting to see what's known as a rounding top. So what this definitely indicates when we're looking at the chart is this is a definition of losing momentum, because if you have sustained momentum, you have a straight set angle to the upside. That's sustained momentum. When you have the momentum weakening over time, you get this rounding top, which for anybody that understands technical analysis, rounding tops signify weakness in momentum, and they're basically topping conditions that are setting up for you looking for your exit if you're on a long, or looking for a short if you are looking for a pullback to the downside. So now what we want to do here is now we want to come down here to the bottom, press Option F or Alt F if you're on a PC, click, drag this up to the top. And so now what we're looking at, we're going to go ahead and clean up some of these other fibs here because there's just too much on the screen. Yeah, there we go. So what we're looking at here is when this rolls over, a likely bounce back up to whatever a short, smaller time frame golden pocket. But on this move, I'm looking for a move. If we are going to be inherently bullish, I'm looking for a move right here at this 382, which is right at 35 cents. We also have a volume node right here. Isn't it crazy how fibs tend to also line up very regularly with where high volume is? We have the golden pocket directly below this huge shelf we have right here, prices, point of control actually on this volume profile. But as this rolls over, I'm looking for probably a small pause at this line here because of price action here, but more likely an opportunity to get in at 34.6 cents, 0.34608. But if we do get that bearish pullback on Bitcoin that pushes down to that 21,000 level, falls through, has that fake out, the bear trap to the downside to the 19.6 level, then I'm also looking for this to come down to 30 cents. So that would be a pretty good move on Cardano. So for me, I already have orders set in this region. Some very very hopeful bullish buys setting up for going into this next bull run. But I'm not just saying I'm only gonna buy it if it gets all the way down here, because it might not. So I have different entries laddered at this fib, also at this low right here, because this is a low and a high. I remember when I was looking at this, just so you know, to get this horizontal ray, you can do Option J or Alt J. If you prefer doing the line, you can do Option H, which does the line all the way across. But I like the horizontal rays because it keeps it cleaner. But so I have laddered entries at this level, and then basically a third, and a third at this level. And that way, if it doesn't come all the way down here, I still took advantage of this downward price action. So that's what I'm seeing on ADA. Please explain BTC Binance US BTC USD chart. Okay. Well, I'll go back to that towards the end, because I did Bitcoin a lot. BTC. Okay. Let me see some of these other coins you guys all threw out there. Alrighty. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Now we can see, let's do, I see somebody did Cosmos, so let's go ahead and do some Cosmos. You see, I already have all my stuff mapped because these are some of the coins I've been actively looking at here on stream, and also some of them, not all of them, some of them I also have, I'm going to turn off the 4MA because it's kind of distracting right now. Okay, so we have this move here. Let's go ahead and go auto. Okay, so from this move all the way to the bottom, this is on the 12-hour. So let's go ahead and zoom in. We look at this. So this is what I'm talking about. This is perfect. So this, as I called out earlier, this is an ascending triangle, which is an inherently bearish structure. This pointing to the upside typically breaks down. But what happened here? Look at this. This push to the upside broke bullishly out of this, and then pull back into this. And I expect from this, they trap people, you know, retail hype buyers. Oh, I got to get in so I don't miss the move. And then they reverse on you. And then they push back up to give you one more opportunity, and then are going to come back down to the downside. Likely, I'm looking at somewhere, probably, this is actually a great level. This 382 is also pretty in line with, if we measure this right here, the widest part, let's kind of do that right there. This would be a little bit wider, the widest part. Yeah. So now we come right here. This is how we measure it. And look at where this move would be. This is how you would measure this breakout to the downside. So this did do a false breakout, was a bear trap, a bull trap to the upside. It got a double top, and this is only looking at price action. I'm not even looking at the indicators. I'm only looking at the price action here. We got rejection at this volume node, which was also near this previous high. And if we break to the downside, the measured move from this is right at the 382. So I definitely would be looking at an entry right around the $12 mark. And then, of course, the golden pocket, which is down here around the $10. There's a hair on this, like wiggling in my eyes. I thought I was having a seizure there for a moment, or a stroke. Alrighty, so this is what I'm looking at, is having laddering my entries around this 382, and then also kind of in this level right here at this golden pocket at the bottom side of it, because right in the middle of this golden pocket there's a volume hole. So the likelihood the price is going to fall and stop at this golden pocket, like right here at the 618, is low, because we can see right here, this is exactly where I can do an option J from there. We can see this is right in the hole. So what I would be doing is setting, laddering my entries on this 382 right here on this high volume node right here, because we have interaction with price action here as well. So I would be laddering here, here at this $11.20 sort of level, and then having my final ladder basically just below, right about here, because that's where the volume really comes in. Maybe just a little bit higher, right on the first, right about there. So $10.49 or so. That's what I'm looking at on Cosmos. Now, you guys can keep throwing in some stuff in here. So I saw somebody put VET. I don't think we've done VET on this channel yet. So let's go ahead and do some VET price action. Let's go on Binance. All right. Now what we're going to do, because I haven't mapped this chart yet, we're going to do really quickly. This will be for anybody, if this is your first time, you'll get to see a great way to do TA quickly. Now I'm going to double click on this, make sure this is on 200, yes, for high resolution. So now what I'm going to do is do option J for a horizontal ray from this top option. And again, every time I say option, I'm on a Mac. If you're on PC, it's Alt J. Alt J. I'm getting my key levels here. Now this is a level, resistance, support. So this is a sort of high traffic area for volume and price action. Option J. I'm doing that from this level. Look at this. We're finding it's crazy how much these levels really you see play out in future time frames. Now we have obviously now I'm going to do option T or Alt T for a trend line here, and we can see I'm going to draw this a couple different ways, because it seems like there's going to be some interesting price action there. So that's how I'm going to draw this, because we have touch, and a little bit of fighting a rejection here. Now we're going to do option T again. We get this sort of price action. There we go. So we're going to have some fake outs here to the downside, but we see this touch. I'm looking for the most touches on the price action. So that is setting up to be a bullish breakout, but it's still well within the structure. We can also do one more trend line, intermediary trend line, sort of right here, because we can see this level Look at that. Look at that. So support, resistance. Now we have a broadening wedge, which is a bullish structure. We have a descending wedge, which is a bullish structure. And we're at the confluence of kind of both of these structures, sort of resistance points right here. So now what we can do from this level, I'm going to do option F, or Alt F for PC, and we can see right here where this is also, look at that, this price action level, this resistance from this trend line here, as well as this trend line right here, is basically just below the golden pocket. So there's a lot of resistance right here. If we go, we can map out a larger target as well, and I haven't even looked at the volume yet. We're coming over here like this. Yeah. So the golden pocket here is also this previous support and resistance right at this level. So there's a lot of confluence in everything setting up here. So now what we want to do, that we've mapped that out, I'm going to make this smaller, and we can look, now we can come down to, let's look at the 12-hour. So now I'm going to do option F, or Alt F for fib. I'm going to do a retrace, bearish retrace. So now what we're looking at here, look at this, high volume node. Couldn't have made this up. High volume node. Look, it's perfectly straddling this golden pocket right here, which is also look at all this price action right in this region, tied perfectly to where this golden pocket is. So what I'm looking at right here, we're starting to get a little bit of a rounding top. How do I know it's a rounding top? Because we have essentially a trend line that's right here. It's basically this trend is going up like this, but we're starting to see this roll over. This high is now basically almost in parity. It's a fairly equal high. So it's an M pattern, which is what have I shown you guys 100 times? This right here, distribution. This is what distribution is. When you get a high, and you get a high that's barely the same. Maybe it's a little bit higher, maybe not. Maybe it's right in that region. Sometimes you'll have just an M. Sometimes you'll have a triple top like this, and that's essentially what we're seeing right here. We're getting that M pattern. It looks like it's trying to attempt back up, but if we zoom out on this and we look at the indicators, look at this. So we have a bearish. I'm gonna go ahead. No, not fib retracement. I'm gonna double click on this. Now we're gonna go to full, so you can see what these divergences are. So for anybody that's curious, these are the BitLab Trading Suite indicators that combine everything from stochastics and money flow and buying pressure and RSI, volume. It reads divergences on 9 different indicators. This is a really, really great indicator. I've basically replaced all my other indicators with just this set. We can see we have bearish RSI and relative extreme of divergence. We also have bearish. This is the key right here. This is my favorite reading on all these indicators, is when I see a bearish divergence on hidden volume, this almost always results in a sell-off. You see right here, this H, sell-off. H and R are regular and hidden. This is, playing out a little bit to the downside, and we're seeing a lot of weakness coming up here. We're getting a lot of red, not many splashes of blue, a lot of red. Red is showing that it's overheated, and you can be overheated into a move and then pull back, which is essentially what just happened. And now we're currently red as well. If we look at this on the MACD and RSI, we can see that the RSI is in a bit of a falling pattern. It's trying to hold above the 50 line, which we can see right here. And the stochastics, we're starting to get bearish. We have bearish divergence on the stochastics as well as on the RSI. I don't know why my MACD always collapses so tiny. I hate it. But sometimes you just got to deal with the tools that are there, right? MACD is crushed bearish, and it's getting rejected at this trend line. It looks like it likely will happen again, but there's a lot of resistance above us. So where I'm looking at with VET is I'm looking at basically a 2.1 cents, 0.021, or down also to the 0.019, just under 2 cents. So this is sort of the levels I'm looking at with VET if we were to get a pullback. But yeah, this is what I'm looking at. Because the golden pocket is also below these moving averages, I would be laddering my entries in at the 382, and then also probably a little short of the golden pocket, because there is volume that's traded there. It's not just a hole like it was when we saw, I think it was on ADA. So you can kind of constructively you have to read each indicator with a grain of salt and see how it works in context to what's happening on the chart. If we were to come down to this on the 2 hour, let's see what's going on here. So I'm going to double click on this to minimize everything else that's going on those charts. And we can see, look at this. Now we're seeing the rolling, now we're seeing the rounding top play out here. But we're finding support. I believe this is the 200 week moving, 202-hour period. So there's a 400-hour period moving average. This is, look how far this is, the distance here. Now this is getting closer. Now this is actually bouncing off of it with one bounce. This has 2 bounces, and we're showing weakness here. I would bet right now that we're finding resistance if we zoomed in right at the golden pocket. Let's look at this. Option F. Oh, we're actually all the way up to, if we do it from the candle bodies, we're right at the golden pocket. If we do it from the wicks, then we're at the 786. So either way, we're finding resistance here. So I would be looking for a pullback on VET to those levels I called out before. So let's see what else we got. Render. And then I remember I'm going to do it. I remember the other day I said I was going to do rare. So I'm going to do rare first. Rare USD. Let's do that. Okay. So... And just by me doing, I want you all to know, by me doing TA on a particular chart doesn't mean that I endorse it or I love it or I hate it or anything I'm doing when I'm doing TA on a chart. I'm literally only looking at this data. In this case, when we're breaking these things down, I'm doing this for you all to see the structure into how I'm going through these various TA methods. I'm actually going to do a different chart because that one doesn't really give a lot of information. That's probably going to be the most though, right? I'm going to go back. So I'm going to go back to, so what we're going to do here, I'm not going to do the whole chart here. I'm going to do it from this level here. Option J gives me a horizontal line. Option J. Now we see a lot of interactivity here. Option J. Okay. And that gives me that horizontal line. Now what I want to do here is do Option F, or every time I say option, if you're on a PC, you can use Alt. I'm going to go to the daily and see what's going on. Okay, so now we're gonna come from, this is a micro cap. This is a smaller token. So I'm actually gonna go from about where this level is, where this, the wick went up on this bearish candle right here. Cause this looks a little unhealthy because the market cap's so low, there wasn't a lot of volume. So we have a push up all the way up to a quarter before we even get to the golden pocket. But if we come from this move here, you can do multiple fibs on multiple different moves in the market. I want you to know that. So we can see we're finding on this move, this breakdown here, we're fighting to get through this golden pocket here up to the, I believe that's the 382, the 382 on, or the 786 on this move. So I'm thinking similarly with weakness coming into Bitcoin, we saw in Cardano, we saw in VET, that there is a higher likelihood that this is going to be pulled down with the weight of the larger market, larger aspects of the market in crypto pulling back. So I would be playing this a bit reservedly. However, one of the things I am noticing here looking at the daily, that we are breaking through this 200-day moving average. So this does give a bit of a bullish sentiment here. Everybody hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, ting that bell. If this is your first time here, my name is Kelly Kellum. I really appreciate y'all being here. We got about 5 minutes left. Welcome to the community. We are here every day, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for tuning in. Let us know let us know where you're from. Let us know, some of the things that you're looking at in the market. We're here to share knowledge. Let us know if there's some coin or some project we should be keeping our eye on. That brings it to my attention. Maybe we can do tea on it next time. Let us know. We're breaking down all the things, all the concepts, all the strategies to bridge all the beginners to pros. And even people that, if you're already, pretty far along in your journey in crypto, I'm teaching you things that aren't talked about on other channels, how to quickly and understandably navigate TradingView, to do TA effectively, what these different indicators and different tools and strategies mean and how to use them. So that's what we're doing here. So thanks for tuning in. Back here to figure out what's going on here. We are breaking through the 200-day moving average. So let's go ahead and pull up indicators to get a better context as to what's going on. Look at this. Red, overheated. Now, I have money flow here as well. And money flow looks like it is kind of pulling out as well as a relative extrema. If we zoom in on this, they are sticking out of the cloud. So this is looking overheated. This is saying it needs a snapback. Volume is still coming up, and we have a RSI, bearish divergence on this. So I would think, even though we are pushing through that 200-day moving average, that a pullback is likely. So how do we get the pullback? We go from the bottom here, option F. We drag from the bottom. We go to the top here, and we can go delete this one so we can actually see what's going on. And so I'm looking for a pullback on this down to 0.14, so 15 cents. 15 cents and a more aggressive move if the market is rolling over down to 12 cents. So anywhere in this region is a great area to ladder in some of your stuff. Yeah, thank you everybody for being here. All right, what was the other one we're going to do before we round out? Render. Let's do Render. This is, for anybody that doesn't know what Render is an interesting play because it's all about using decentralized data processing, which if you think about the metaverse and everything going on, you know, I'm looking at infrastructure plays going into this next bull run. Filecoin, the Graph, Arweave, Render, these things that are basically used decentralized tech to and protocol for people to share services across a broader scope. In this case, graphic processing, and we know that's going to be something highly needed. I'm seeing right now this is very likely going to pull back. Just on account, I immediately noticed this right there. Look at that. We're right at this sort of previous sort of support flipping to resistance. We have a bit of I think this is kind of an Adam and an Eve. Eve is an interesting pattern here. Very interesting pattern. And I'm just going to, because of the nature of the other stuff, and we're seeing the overheated nature on the BitLab trading suite. If you haven't yet, come over here to bitlabacademy.com. Check out the indicators. This is a whole trading suite that I use that really, I mean, this is Barna. This is an incredible trading suite. Some of the best minds in the space and hedge funds and large money investors, as well as me and Frankie Candles, really brought our data from hedge fund, $100 million trading, you know, huge trades. Like I'm talking like high frequency $100 million trades to actual day traders. We combined these different data sets and took, I mean, there's probably 15 or 18 different indicators that are all included within the data structures that make up the data that you see within these particular indicators. So check them out. BitLab, oh, and by the way, you can go, if you go to bitlabacademy.com, you can use relaunch 15. I should have mentioned that. You can use relaunch 15 on the coupon code to get 15% off everything on the Academy courses, which we have the huge updates coming this month, and on the indicators. So on these indicators, we see overheated. This was sticking out of the cloud. We have some bearish divergence that was sticking up earlier in this move. But if we come down to the 4-hour, let's see what's going on. Bearish divergence on volume. There we go. I'm looking for a pullback on this. So let's go back to the 12-hour. Let's map our move from this bottom option F, which is a fib, to the top. Now let's go ahead and zoom in on this auto. Okay, I'm going to go off those. So I'm looking at a pullback at minimum to the $1.49 level, and at I won't say maximum, but more aggressively down to the dollar level. So this is a pretty big move that Render was making. So unless you know other things that I'm not aware of, which absolutely could be the case, because there's only so many hours in every day, maybe they have some massive sort of bullish fundamental news that I didn't catch. So in that case, then you need to play every chart how you chart it and what diligence you do in the market. This is what I'm seeing. If I were to be doing something on this, I'd be playing for a pullback, and that doesn't mean I necessarily would be taking profits or selling or shorting. I'm in a very aggressive stage on the market right now with where I see things going. So what I'm doing is, if I bought down here and it's ripped up, I'm not selling and taking profits. And then what I'm doing, and again, this is not financial advice, I'm adding to my positions when it falls, and I'm getting another shot to DCAN. Again, that's a very aggressive approach. I don't recommend that for everybody, but you have to pick your shots, you have to pick your assets, you have to figure out what your strategy is on the market, and you've got to put it into place. If you don't have planning, then you're planning to fail. As stupid as that sounds. If you don't have a strategy, then your strategy is to fail. Absolutely. But if you have planning and if you have profits, then if you have planning and you have patience and you have strategy, then you'll have profits. But that's all I got for you today. Everybody, please hit that like button. ting that bell, hit the subscribe button, come back. We're here every day, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. My name's Kelly Killam. Thank you so much for being here with us. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Don't get scammed out of 30K like I did. Protect your capital. Always hang up on anybody that calls you and call back the correct support number just to double check. Reset your passwords. Have two-factor authentication on your email and on your crypto stuff and on your banks. But with that, that's all I got. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next lesson, in the next video. Adios. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming, jumping in the charts and trading. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. Thank you once again.